To say that there are some good days and some bad days is just not really how this works. There's days that have more good than bad, there's days that have more bad than good, but definitely um, days that you feel you make some progress, then you probably have days or multiple days that you feel like you've lost ground. So, um, extremely exhausted. Last night was difficult because somehow, in sleeping all of yesterday, she decided not to sleep any last night. And of course, that means I did not get to sleep. And it's kind of an odd thing. This time it wasn't the coughing that was keeping her up, it was just an agitation, something that there was no real explanation for. Every 30 minutes or every hour, it was being called in to adjust the bed, let her go potty, or just something. I mean, she ate at midnight a couple of bites of tuna salad, which was weird because normally she would be sound asleep at that time. But from midnight on to 7 this morning, it was nonstop. Um, the potty break really was weird because I knew she had not drank much water, so I know that she was maybe a bit dehydrated but still feeling that urge. And you can't ignore it. You can't sleep through it. You have to get up. You have to respond because you never know what that call is going to be. The other thing that really seems to have started is with more of her speaking while she's out. Not really cohesive or anything like that. Normally, talking in your sleep, maybe it's a word or two, but she's full on having conversations. And at least when I noticed that it started, a conversation regarding my brother. And of course, that just sends you through a whole nother emotional set of feelings and realizations. So I don't know what's really going on with that part. Um, as a result, it's somewhere between the 5:30 check and the 6:15 check. She had removed her oxygen line. So when I went in at 6:15 and found the oxygen line off, I was very nervous. Did a blood oxygen reading on the monitor, and of course her level was very low at 83. So immediately got the oxygen line on, increased the oxygen flow to try to compensate for whatever that amount of time was that she had it off. And it's just, you just, sometimes you can't even wait to be called in. You have to check in even when they're getting you in there every 30 minutes. Maybe you're checking in every 15 minutes because something like that could really be the difference if it's ignored. And again, paying attention and knowing what to respond to. And I mean, I'm guessing, I don't know. The hospital didn't give us any advice as to oxygen levels or readings or when to increase or decrease or anything like that. I only know very little experience from my aunt and what she was told as a number to watch for or get to the hospital right away. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't know how we wait still another 8 days to get to the doctor, to get a follow up, to hear anything more when it seems like between the coughing, the exhaustion, and now the agitation, is there something more that's going on? My concern is that her lungs are filling up and that's causing the difficulty in breathing because she's very labored today in breathing. Is that because of the lack of sleep? I don't know. Thinking back when I had small children and they would get their nights and days confused, you know what you had to do. You have to suffer through one of those time periods and just get them back onto a schedule. But she's very argumentative at this point regarding that and demanding what she wants, which is to go to bed, and she wants to sleep and she doesn't want to eat. And so I am having to gently but deliberately try to get her to see things my way, and why we have to do this, just for normal function of a household where the routine of having help comes during the day, and I get to go to work for a little bit, and then my coming home I get to take over. But that means sleeping at night because I can't get out of that whack. So I don't know. We just continue to try every day and hope to get some quality of life back in order and some routine. And maybe I'm asking too much for a routine. So if you're struggling with this and you're contemplating or potentially having to bring a loved one into your home, there are some things that, yeah, seem obvious that you want to think about. As everything on one level that that person needs is everything easy access. Is there a bathroom facility? Are you going to have to use a mobile potty chair? And then there's the cleanup that's involved with that. And then you have other issues of when they move from one location to another, the items that have to get moved in order to accommodate that. If you have other children, small children, or pets, you don't want them in the way. Obviously, in her case, while she was, and I believe she may be coming out of the COVID, but I haven't tested her yet to see if she's negative. I'm trying to give it time to see if symptoms go away, what symptoms were related to COVID versus not. I mean, it's all a guessing game. Doing absolutely the best that I can, but not at all prepared for everything that you are constantly trying to figure out, deal with, and resolve. Easy response is, well, you can't fix everything, just leave it alone. Well, that's my mom. I'm not just going to leave it alone. But just the household and having items clear for the path. Lucky that I have a chair with roller wheels on it that I can bring her from one location, the bedroom, into the family room. And we have the mobile potty chair, so that functions pretty well to move from one location to the other. The kitchen is off of the family room, so that allows for me to do meal prep, talk to her, still keep her engaged, and still have some interaction with her while she gives input as to what she wants to eat or feels like eating, or takes a bite and then says, no, that's not what she wants. It's just pretty much on demand all the time, and you're struggling to figure it all out. So trying to stock up on foods that I knew would be good for her and things that I know that she likes to eat, and then completely and totally having that all thrown out the window, and some random something is mentioned and that's what she decides that she wants, whether it's good for her or not. It's at the point that you're just trying to get substance into them, some form of nutrition. Bite of peanut butter toast is better than nothing, but getting her to drink a smoothie, okay, in small quantities, that works. Getting her to drink a protein shake, not so much at this point. But it's just, there is so much that you have to consider in giving care to a loved one within your own home or in their home if you're going there to stay. Just the routine upheaval that takes place to a normal function. The schedule, yes, if you can set it and keep it, or at least have somewhat of a routine, is going to be very, very important. But be prepared for those times when it just doesn't go as planned and you have to adjust and accommodate and overcome. I think that's a Marine motto: adapt and overcome, something like that. Yeah, I feel like I've been to battle at some point at this rate. So we are looking for information as to what guidelines to use on the oxygen, what guidelines to use as to know when to adjust or not adjust, and more importantly, how do I determine if the fluid is building up in the lungs? When is it appropriate to go back to the hospital? And is there something more medically that I need to be giving her in order to bring on the sleep? It used to be that she would take a Tylenol at night and boom, she'd be out and she'd sleep all night. And we are at the point where that is not working. Although we made progress and we finally got the swelling of the feet to go down because we did the third night of Tylenol, and that has made the result that we wanted. So finally, 3 nights consecutively of Tylenol brought the swelling down, which is what we had done before in November when she had a little bout with the swelling for no reason. Maybe there was a reason we just didn't know and we didn't dive into it at that time, and now we are seeing other things that may have been precursor to what feels like a sudden unknown being dropped on us. But trying to keep the positive attitude, trying not to take the comments personally, trying to not be too assertive with her in my responses, even though sleep deprivation isn't good for anybody. But you do have to be firm, and you do have to take a stand, and you do have to ultimately know what's better for the patient, your loved one, and try to get it done as best and compassionately as possible. So yes, having a professional be able to provide those services is probably a good choice, especially with the medical aspects. But for personal independence or financial reasons, or just how well you may know your family member, I don't know that family care can be beat in that respect. And having multiple support mechanisms for those people who are giving it is certainly critical. So I appreciate the opportunity to share this. I am open to anybody's journey that has gone through it and what you may have learned, and if I can help somebody in any way, that's great. But ultimately, searching for answers and trying to find my way around what is now the opportunity to take care of my mother, 77 years old, who up until this was vibrant, active, not ill, no medical conditions to really speak of that deterred her, not taking any daily medication, and total life change and what all that brings. So we'll see where and how we go from here and keep you posted, and look forward to feedback and conversations that we get to have. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.